What's going on, people? Welcome to Fandoms Anonymous. We are here. This is the place for the official Fandoms Anonymous Power Ranger movie countdown. Man, we are so excited to have a Power Rangers movie coming out. We're going to be providing you all types of content, from podcasts to special interviews with special guests to different conversations to debates about Power Rangers. We're talking Power Rangers every single day. There's going to be a new video dropping every day leading up to the release of the Power Rangers movie. Again, this is Fandoms Anonymous presents the Power Rangers movie countdown. Follow us all over social media and subscribe to us here on YouTube. Go Power Rangers. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Big Fandoms Anonymous presents the Power Rangers movie countdown. Man, we have been releasing content each and every day on the Fandoms Anonymous YouTube channel, and thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for checking it out. We got so much to talk about. There are so many things that you can talk about with Power Rangers, so many conversations that you can have with your friends, your family, with people at work who like Power Rangers. You can just talk Power Rangers all day long, and it's that time to talk Power Rangers because we're less than 7 days away from the early release for those cities who are releasing the movie on the 23rd, and we're 8 days away from the worldwide release or the United States release of Saban's Power Rangers. It's been 20 years in the making since Power Rangers has been on the big screen. So to talk with me today, I got my man from the That's Morphinominal page all over social media, Mr. Michael Dean. How you doing today, Michael?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Most definitely. Tell everybody how you got started with That's Morphinominal.
I have 3 kids, and I was 8 years old when Power Rangers came on, and I've loved it ever since. And I got my kids started in it, and we decided that we liked it, and we watched it like every weekend, and I decided that I'd start doing some edits, so I started creating a Facebook, and then I created a Twitter, and then I created an Instagram, and just started sharing my love with Power Rangers with anybody that would like to see it, and it's really taken off. I'm at 4,800 followers, and it's been 6 weeks on Instagram. So,
Wow. And there's nothing like good momentum. Like I say, I've been running Fandoms Anonymous since January 1st, and I just, checked my analytics on YouTube, so we're already at 1,600 views and 37 subscribers in less than 3 months. So thank you to everyone that's been following and subscribing and retweeting. I can never say that word right, but thank you to everybody who has made Fandoms Anonymous a success in the short period of time that it's been up and running. But we're going to get on to our topic today. And what I've been doing is I've been having conversations with different people from different walks of life, different states, cities, and time zones, talking about Power Rangers. And I employed them to, in a sense, let's talk about what you want to talk about when it comes to the Rangers. And Mr. Michael Dean here came to me with his topic, and he wanted to talk about what Power Rangers means to us. So, Mike, tell us what Power Rangers means to you.
Well, Power Rangers kind of has 2 different sides. When I was younger, when it first came out, like I said, I was 8 years old, and it was about the flashy costumes, the robots, the karate moves, just every basic thing that the kids like. And then as I got older, it came more about behind-the-scenes stuff, like the voice actors, the voice recordings, the stunt doubles, and just more deep down into the show. I mean, Power Rangers is always going to be one of those cheesy things, but I enjoy watching it. I enjoy it as I'm editing, and I've probably watched episodes probably 30 times a piece over the years, and something that me and my kids and my family like to sit down and watch on the weekends or anytime we're not watching anything. It's just something that we enjoy, and I personally like my favorite person out of all the Power Rangers would be Kelson Henderson. He's been doing so much great work for the last 10 years on Power Rangers, and most people don't know about that. So
Yeah, he has done so many different characters. He's even currently in the new season Power Rangers Ninja Steel playing the mentor role, and the tech guy. And I've watched him do so many different roles. Now I heard you said that there are some episodes you've watched about 30 plus times. What is your most watched Power Rangers episode?
It'd have to be episode 25 of In Space. It's called Always a Chance, and it's the one where Carlos injures Cassie, and Adam comes back and tries to help him get his self-confidence back, and he morphs and uses the broken morpher, and it was just a great episode. It helps flesh out Carlos's character, and it's just a great episode.
I would say my most watched episode would be the two-parter from Operation Overdrive, Once a Ranger. And that's another episode where Adam came back along with the blue Ninja Storm Ranger, along with the yellow Donna Thunder Ranger, along with Xander from Mystic Force, and along with, in that episode, the Red Ranger from the current Red Ranger based on the timeline in SPD. So I've watched that episode, that two-parter, so many times I can't even count. If I had to say what Power Rangers means to me, it's deeply rooted back to when Power Rangers first came on, and it was that show that I watched, and I've never missed an episode. I'm a little behind on Ninja Steel based on time and the fact that I work on Saturdays, but I'm going to keep up because, of course, it's there online and it's available to watch. But it was that thing that caught my attention. It was that thing that, I could go out in my front yard. I was not an only child, but my sister was older. We're about 13 years apart, so I could go out in my front yard and, kick in the air and sword fight with trees and just have a good time doing those things. And like I said, as the seasons progress, I watched more and more and more. And it's that thing that it's my number one fandom. It's my number one fandom. I've always been able to sit down and relate to the seasons and sit down and relate to the storylines and things of that nature. And then as I got older and was able to travel, start actually meeting some of the actors. So, Mike, who have you met that are Power Ranger actors?
I haven't met any yet, but in May, I am going to Houston, Texas for Comicpalooza to meet Jason David Frank and Amy Jo Johnson.
Awesome. Now, in my Power Rangers actor span, I have met, as of the last 2 years, I've met Walter Lee Jones, who was the original Ranger. I've met Karen Ashley, who was Aisha, the second Yellow Ranger. I've met Austin St. John, who's the original Jason Lee Scott. I've met David Fielding, and I have conversations with David Fielding a lot on Facebook. So, hey, David, how you doing? I've met Karen Manahan, that played Goldar. I've met Barbara Gordon, who was the voice of Rita. I met David Yost, who played Billy. Just a couple of weeks ago, before I move on, I met Vernon Wells, who played Rancic on Time Force. I've met, just a couple of weeks ago, I can move on to that now, and I'll make sure I got everybody else out the way. No, before I go there, I keep remembering people along the way. I met Robert Axelrod last year down here at the convention, and I met a couple of, now I can move on. I keep saying I'm going back and moving on. I met Adam Park, a.k.a. Johnny Young Bosch, and I met the man, the legend himself, Jason David Frank, a couple of weeks ago as well. And guys, if you haven't checked it out already, I've did an interview with Jason David Frank, and it's on the Fandoms Anonymous YouTube channel. It was an awesome, dynamic interview to really get to know who Jason David Frank is, and not necessarily get to talk about who Tommy Oliver is, because we know who Tommy Oliver is. But you get a chance to hear who Jason David Frank really is. Mike, did you get a chance to check out that interview?
Yes, I did. It was really well put together, and I really enjoyed it.
Most definitely so. And then just recently, there's a new convention coming down to this area down here, and I'm in Alabama. there's a convention called QuestCon, and they just announced that 3 members of the Lightspeed Rescue Team will be coming to that convention. So we're going to have Carter Grayson and Allison McInnes and the Yellow Lightspeed Ranger. She's going to be there as well. So I'm pretty excited about that, for them to be on my next on my Ranger bucket list. So we look at Power Rangers, and we look at, you know, what it has done over the years. Just off subject, Mike, what would you say is your favorite season?
See, that's a tough one for me, because the way I look at the seasons, I'd have to say In Space would be my favorite, just because they did such a good job, but also knowing the fact that that was meant to be the last season they were going to go make, but it did so well in ratings that it completely saved the franchise. It just blew me out of the water.
I would say my favorite season is Ninja Storm. And speaking of favorite season, we did a video did a recording on yesterday about the most powerful seasons. Not necessarily saying that these are the most powerful seasons, but between me, Reginald Reed, Derek Green, and Robert Norwood, we picked our most powerful seasons, and we had a conversation about that. So that'll be hitting the YouTube page, the YouTube channel, in a couple of days, so stay tuned for that as well. But like I said, my favorite is Ninja Storm. I love Ninja Storm. I felt like it was a very grounded season. I love the suits. I love the actors, the cast. You know, for me, like I said, that was my favorite. But Mike, what else does Power Rangers mean to you?
I mean, it helped me get a lot of self-confidence when I was younger. The messages that they gave during, like, the little PR afterwards, like the, you know, to quit bullying and stuff that they used to do, and it just helped me get confidence. I took karate, and I gained a lot more self-confidence when I was younger, because I was the only child for a long time, so Power Rangers was my go-to place to get away from everything. So it really helped me grow as a person, and it still does to this day. When I watch certain episodes, it takes me back, and I relive those life lessons that it gave me.
Definitely. You mentioned earlier that you have 3 children. What are their ages?
4, 6, and 9.
So, and I asked that because a friend of mine named Kevin Garlington, who's always on our weekly episode called Fandom Talk, where we talk about everything that's going on in the entertainment industry. So the most latest episode is up there on the YouTube channel now. We're talking this week about does The Matrix need a reboot? So check that out. But he made a big valid point the other day. He said Power Rangers has spanned over 25 years. Because we were talking about at the beginning of that conversation, the 831 episode marathon that's going on Twitch right now. And he said for every child that's been born over the last 25 years, once they get of age where they could look at TV and remember, there's a Power Ranger season on TV for them. You know, like I say, when I was born in '93. Power Rangers was Mighty Morphin was on. You know, I look at my cousins, maybe been born a little bit later on. For them, it might have been Zeo. You know, I look at family members. You know, I look at their age. You know, for them, it might have been Ninja Storm, might have been their first season. So every child has a first season. I could say for your 4-year-old, Mike, you know, his or her first season would be more likely Dino Charge for their recollection. You know, and then your 9-year-old, if we look back 9 years, if I can calculate it, can't remember what season was going on 9 years ago, but like I said, there's a season for each and every age within these last 25 years. And just looking at the hype and the craze for Power Rangers as it is getting ready to hit the big screen again, it's just awesome for me to see. I'm enjoying every last bit of it. But do you have anything else that you want to drop with us about Power Rangers, Mike?
Actually, the fact that you brought up Ninja Storm, my 4-year-old's actually named after Cam. His name is Cameron, and that's who he's named after. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. But, guys, we do thank you for joining us today on this conversation about what Power Rangers means to us. If you don't already know who we are Fandoms Anonymous. That's FANDOMSANONYMOUS. We're on Facebook, so come in and like our page. Come in our Facebook group and join our discussions. We're also on YouTube, here where this video is, Fandoms Anonymous. We're on Instagram at Fandoms_Anonymous17, and we're on Twitter at Anonymous_Fan17. Michael, where can they find you at all over social media?
Well, my primary source is Instagram, and it's at that's_Morphinominal, and then my Twitter page is _Morphinominal_, and then my Facebook is at that'smorephenomenal, all one word.
Definitely. Well, guys, Mike, I do thank you for sitting down with me and having this conversation today about what Power Rangers means to us. Guys, we're going to continue this countdown each and every day leading up to the Power Rangers movie release. If you guys, like I said before, follow us everywhere. There's a playlist now on the Fandoms Anonymous YouTube channel with all Power Rangers content, even including the interview with Jason David Frank. So if you get a chance, check it out. But other than that, guys, we thank you for joining us today. Have a good one.